went to the fair. Yeah. She actually had to work last week by herself. Charlie's ready. Yeah, whenever you're ready. Yeah. I'm ready. Yeah.
Let's bring this September 9th, 2021 Dickson County Planning Commission meeting to order. Mr. Comer, would you give devotion, please, sir?
I would, thank you. Colleagues and visitors, let us pray. Great and glorious God, we thank you for this wonderful day and for the opportunity to serve the people of Dickson County as their leaders and their servant leaders. We ask that you be with us tonight and help guide us to exercise our authority with wisdom and with the best intentions for the people and for the applicants in the discharge of our duties. We especially ask your blessing for our colleagues in Humphreys County and the people of Waverly and McEwen and the surrounding areas that were affected by the recent floods. We ask that you bless and keep them in your heart and hold them in your gentle hands as they go through what they're going through now, and bless our first responders and all the community members that responded to those needs. It was a great outpouring of charity, and where there is charity, there is God. And this we ask in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Comer. At this time, I'd like to recognize our new Planning Commission member, Miss Beth Garrett. With a new member, we've lost a member, so Jeff Spencer has had to resign. So with that, we'll now move into roll call.
Okay.
Wayne Durham had also.
Yeah. That's, yeah. Todd Berry.
resigned.
Robert Witherow. Here. Jeff Spencer. Mac Pilkington. Here. Robert Qualls. Here. David Brogdon. Here. Harold Williams. Here. Shane Chandler.
Here.
Gary Peeler.
Here.
Christy Sullivan. Here. Beth Garrett.
Here.
Robert Comer.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we do have a quorum.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to recognize all the visitors in the crowd and ask them if they have not signed the register there on the table, please do so as they exit. We will now move into the approval of the minutes. Has everybody looked over the minutes from the previous meeting?
Mr. Chairman, in my slighted condition right now, I had my grandson highlight and go over them with me and my package as well, and it was very impressive to his social studies teacher as well. So anyhow, I would like to move that we approve the minutes as they're presented.
Have a proper motion by Robert Witherow to approve the minutes.
Second.
And a proper motion by R.J. Comer. And if you hadn't given the explanation, I would have questioned you reviewing the minutes. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes pass.
And I would like to say thank you for all the thoughts and prayers and concerns for me. Since I've had this eye surgery, it was something that I knew that it was going to have to happen at some point in my life, but all of a sudden it got accelerated. So, but we're doing well. My vision is about 90 or 95% restored, and hopefully in the next few days we'll be back to 100%. So,
Thank you, Mr. Witherow. Item number 1, be preliminary plat for Oak Grove subdivision, deferred from 8/12/2021, tax map 139, part of parcel 13.00, 34.80 acres, Oak Grove Road, Dickson, A1 Agriculture, 2nd District.
Okay, this was deferred from the last meeting. It was surveyed by Christie Surveying to create 29 new lots. One of the biggest questions was the width of Oak Grove Road. The Highway Department has gone back out there and they checked it all the way from Highway 48 south past development. You do have copies of all their measurements. It will average 19.25 feet wide. And also the Water Authority has received payment for the water line extensions and the 3 new fire hydrants that are required. Mr. Collins?
All right, since we discussed this last month, staff's comments were just reiterated, minus the one modification to the conversation we had about the pavement width. So, as a result of the confirmation of the 19.25 feet width average, in staff's opinion, I believe this circumstance has been addressed if your planning commission's inclined to consider it.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I'm want to say, I hope our developers have, sorry to put you off for a month, but your patience has paid off, as we've seen now that, the road is the right width and all. And so, that was their biggest concern. Everything else, I think, has been addressed. With the water line, and we've got all the proper signatures and everything, Mr. Darnell.
We will have when they get the final plat in. Yeah. This
Well-
is just a preliminary.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept this preliminary plat for the Oak Grove subdivision.
Have a motion by Robert Woodrow to approve the preliminary plat for the Oak Grove subdivision as presented. Do I have a second? Have a second by Robert Qualls. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Was that unanimous? Was everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll now move into item number 2 is the final amended plat for Lot 23 Westdale subdivision, tax map 104K, parcels 10.00 and 11.00, 1.23 acres, Delway 3, Dickson, Tennessee, R1 residential second district.
Okay, this was also surveyed by Christie Surveying, combining lots 23, which was 0.83 acres, and lot 24, which is 0.40 acres. What you'll now have one new lot 23 that will become 1.23 acres, and lot 4 will be totally eliminated. Mr. Collins?
All right, in review of this amended plat, other than just all the necessary signatures, staff has no reservations with plat approval.
Thank you, Mr. Collins.
I believe this one's in my district as well, and I don't have any problems with this as a long-established subdivision. I'm sure they're probably doing this because they want perks. So, anyhow, Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the final amended plat for the Westdale.
I have a motion by Robert Woodrow to accept the final amended Lot 23 Westdale subdivision. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a second by Todd Berry. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move into item number 3, which is final plat, Poplar Creek subdivision, tax map 075, part of parcel 26.00, 8.9 acres, Columbia Road, Charlotte, Tennessee, A1 Agriculture, First District.
Okay, this was also surveyed by Christie Surveying to create 6 new lots. You do have a copy of the email from Michael Rogers indicating there will be no issues providing water, and the existing fire hydrants will provide adequate coverage. Mr. Collins?
All right, a couple of months ago or so was when we first looked at the preliminary plat, and we discussed several items, the drainage, hydrants, the access, and there is, as far as this final plat is concerned, there's the proper note on the plat regarding drainage for ditching and culverting. There's an existing hydrant to provide coverage for the proposed lots, so no issue there. For access, note number 2 on the plat does have a note addressing for line of sight issue that the driveway placement is restricted for lots 3 through 6. That note is compliant in staff's opinion. There's, of course, remaining acreage with the parent parcel, and there appears to be 2 locations remaining for access to a public road, which does allow for the for any future division, a potential new road could be built to further divide those lots in the future. Other than that, just lack of all necessary signatures.
Downhill, pretty steep.
Thank you, Mr. Collins.
If I remember right, it is.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion, we accept the final plat, Poplar Creek subdivision, Columbia Road, staff comments, and with proper signature.
Have a motion by Todd Berry to accept the final plat of Poplar Creek subdivision with all the corrections and staff comments.
Second.
Have a second by David Brogdon. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, it passes. We'll now move into item number 4, preliminary plat of Tristan Acres subdivision, tax map 076, part of parcel 13.03, 8.73 acres, Highway 47 and Long Road, Charlotte, Tennessee, A1 Agriculture, First District.
Okay, this was surveyed by Christie Surveying to create 7 new lots. One of the questions was the width of Long Road. It's been double checked and it's actually 20 foot wide, not the 10 foot that's listed in the road inventory. You also have a copy of the letter from the city of Charlotte. They will allow sewer connections to lots 1 and 3 only that border Highway 47. They didn't feel they could handle the other ones, so lots 4 through 7 will be serviced by septic system. They will require a water line extension along Highway 47 and 2 new fire hydrants. We have not received any surety at this time. Mr. Collins?
Okay, this preliminary plat is located, this property is located within the Charlotte urban growth boundary. It's also got a portion of this property, as Mr. Darnell mentioned, that does have the availability of sewer to lots 1 and through 3. So that has been noted on the preliminary plat, which by the time we see final plat, that'll be restated. As far as I won't go over the width of Long Road. That was one of those I went out and checked as well on a different date when I was up here visiting another community, and I came out about 21 feet in width. So everything's good as far as that goes. The letter B under plat issues, I do want to draw your attention to the very first sentence and then the very last sentence. Everything in the middle, just ignore it. That was my fault. That was just a copy-paste job that went awry. So, but still, the drainage, the land appears to drain in a west to southwestern pattern, which, if proper ditching and culverting is put in, then that should be, a good way to handle and direct the runoff. Note number 4 on the preliminary plat does adequately cover this, and we'll be looking for that again on the final plat. Let's see, as far as hydrants, Dave's already talked about that. Utilities as well. Since Highway 47 is a major arterial status road with a couple of the lots that will be accessing from Highway 47. There is a note number 2 on the plat that places a driveway restriction for Lot 3 due to Highway 47's arterial status. So staff feels that has been addressed. There's also some remaining acreage with a parent parcel and ample location for access to a public road should that land be divided again to create new lots. There's some existing road frontage not only on Long Road, but also from the rear on nearby Franklin Road. So there's always, another potential access there. But other than that, Mr. Chairman, I don't have any other comments.
Thank you, Mr. Collins.
My question on this is if, City of Charlotte will pick up lots 1, 2, and 3, why, is there sewer,
They don't think they have the ability to handle it.
are they getting close to capacity then? Are we gonna have
Well,
are we gonna have to have a moratorium on building lots?
if you remember, on past ones, we've had some on 47 where they've actually went back and added sewer, but they're to the point they're not gonna push it. Yeah,
We got the most outdated sewer system in the world,
yes,
and, one of these days, it's gonna crash,
correct.
Well, they're gonna, if they can't pick these lots up, then, they're gonna be like the city of McEwen, they're gonna have to have a moratorium on them and just they're gonna have to shut the building off until they can get the sewer system up to standards.
What is the will of the board? Is that a motion, Mr. Qualls? Please?
Let's-
Chairman, I would move approval of the preliminary plat of Kristen Acres subdivision, with the stipulations previously discussed.
I have a motion by Robert Qualls to approve the preliminary plat of Tristan Acres subdivision with staff comments.
I'll second it, Mr.
Have a
Chairman.
second by Todd Berry. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now we'll move into item number 5, is the final plat of the James Eaton subdivision, tax map 125, part of parcel 04.00, 3.71 acres, Garners Creek Road, Dickson, Tennessee, A1 Agriculture, 2nd District.
Okay, this was surveyed by McBride Surveying to create 2 new lots. You'll see they're listed as Lot 2 and Lot 3. Lot 1 was divided off by administrative approval recorded in August of 2014. You'll see in your notes from Michael Rogers, the Water Authority has a 6-inch water line on Garners Creek, so there's no issues providing water. At this time, there are no other requirements for fire hydrants. Mr. Collins?
All right. As far as staff's comments here, there will be a pretty good chunk of remaining acreage, a 69.5 acre farm that will be left with a parent parcel with 2 access points to Garners Creek Road. With the way this is designed, staff certainly advises caution for any further road frontage division if it's, not done carefully. Let's see. The 6-inch water line, that is, just, I think as far as the plat, should be shown a reference, okay. With regards to 2 existing hydrants that are within close enough proximity to these properties, although they're not 500 feet. They are 1,500 and 2,000 feet approximately. Staff does recommend that these be shown or at least referenced on the final plat, along with their approximate distances. Let's see, as far as the drainage, the plat does lack a notation or 2 regarding culverting and ditching that we're getting surveyors here in the community to get used to that, putting that note on there.
I think
So,
the one on the Highway Department culverts is on there. It's kind of in the middle.
right, it's the part about
Yeah.
ditching.
The ditching, right, it
Yeah,
needs to be
it's
added.
just adding that word in there helps.
Yes.
As far as, just plat issues, just, lack of all necessary signatures, and then that notation for the driveway culverts to be added to there with ditching, excuse me. you know, referencing of the existing hydrants in the area, I've left that off as a bullet point, so if the planning commission's inclined to approve this plat, that would be a contingency to add that reference to the plat. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Collins.
Mr. Chairman, that's my district, and I haven't had any complaints, I don't have any problems with it. So I'd like to move it, we approve this preliminary plat with the staff comments.
Have a motion by Robert Witherow to approve final plat.
This is a final plat.
This is final,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
You want to keep that motion then?
Yeah.
Have a motion to approve the final plat of the James Eaton subdivision. Do I have a second? Seconded by Robert Qualls. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. Okay, we'll move into item number 6, final plat of T.L. Allen subdivision, section 3. Tax map 075, part of parcel 37.00, 6.70 acres, Steel Road and Columbia Road, Charlotte, Tennessee, A1 Agriculture, 1st District.
Okay, this was surveyed by Exile Land Company. If you remember, the preliminary plat started with 7 lots, and the final plat that you have in your packet was reduced to 5. But you also have a revised final plat in front of you that brings the total new lots down to 4. They had some people interested in buying some lots instead of having to bring a final back and amended it. They were able to make the corrections before tonight's meetings, so you'll end up with just 4 lots. As you'll see in the other email, the Water Authority has no issues providing water, and there's 3 existing fire hydrants which will supply fire coverage. Mr. Collins?
All right, as far as staff's review of this final plat,
You got 4.
the 5 feet right-of-way dedication note has carried over to the final plat from our preliminary plat discussion, and that would be for the entirety of the road frontage for lots 11 through 14. So I made the
No, he
note
said
here
they're
on
gonna cut
my
it
part
in.
as well.
They're gonna redraw it into 4.
As far as
6, not 4.
As far as drainage, the note number 8 on the revised plat does include ditching in the notation, so staff considers that part addressed. So other than that, it's just plat lacks all necessary signatures.
Thank you, Mr. Collins.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve final plat, T.L. Allen subdivision, Steel Road, Columbia.
Okay, I have a motion by Todd Berry to approve the final plat of the T.L. Allen subdivision, section 3. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by David Brogdon. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. Okay, at this time, we have one other item. I'd like to thank the subcommittee that's worked diligently over the agriculture and rural character preservation package. And the days to come, you will receive a draft of this either by mail or email, and Mr. Comer is going to present this to you tonight.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thanks again for that, for the hard work that the group did on tackling this idea of how can we revise some of the subdivision regulations and a couple of the zoning codes to affect some preservation of our road frontage, our existing road frontage, and preserve agricultural and rural character while allowing for growth that we're experiencing in Dickson County. What we have to do tonight is we have to pick a date for a working session as a group so that we can go over that package all together before and get everyone's input on it. A working session is a public session. We don't take action at a working session, but the public can come and witness what we do. So we would be meeting here, either in person or by Zoom, and I think it would take maybe an hour, hour and a half to go through it all completely. I would think we might be able to get through it in an hour. In advance of that meeting, everyone would get mailed an entire package of what's being proposed. So I think that the order of business for us on this is to pick that date, which should be sometime before our next meeting. And so if we could find a way to do that now, we can get that on the schedule. We can, do we have a notice requirement for a working session? Okay, we don't have to notice it at all, we can just do it. All right,
If we don't take action.
Right.
yeah, we're not taking action.
Then it's,
So our next meeting is what date, Mr. Darnell?
October 14th.
14th, okay, so, unfortunately, the best time would've been the 7th, but I'm not available on the 7th, which is the Thursday before. We could do a working session before our regular session, but that would require everyone to get here early, so, I'm not sure.
We've talked in the past when we've had to have extra meetings, that sometimes because of other meetings, the fifth week, that fifth Thursday, can work out for a lot of people who have other meetings. And this month, we have the fifth Thursday. So that's great. So, what would be that date? The thirtieth is something.
Mr. Chandler cannot be here.
There would be a reason.
I can probably be here by Zoom.
Yeah, I'd be all right.
Yes.
I had forgotten about that. We did talk about that.
Yes, Mr.
I
Chandler
still
can't
think
be
it's
here.
all right, if it's all right, sure.
Oh, it's fine with me. I can make it by Zoom meeting.
What about the 23rd?
I'm flexible.
We're talking about a meeting time to be.
September 23rd,
The same time as our.
7 o'clock here, the 23rd.
Does that not work for anybody?
Does anybody have a conflict?
This room will not be encumbered at that point.
No,
No, I don't think anybody meets on that odd
No.
week.
no, they don't.
And I think any day would work too, that,
Meet Mr. Darnell.
that fifth week, I think any day would work.
Well, the 20th is a county commission meeting. That's on a Monday.
Okay. That'd be the third week.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chandler, I'm not available on September 23rd. I'm just,
Okay.
about
Well, let's just do the, let's just do the 30th, and, I will, be here via Zoom.
Okay. So we could have it on the 30th at 7 PM.
Yes, that's fine with me.
We'll send, yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, we'll send a reminder and we'll, send all the information we got by email to everybody, or mail.
just to give everyone a heads up what they're gonna get. You're gonna get a table that lists the goals or policies that the change addresses, a summary of what the change is, and then a summary of what codes or regulations are affected by it. And it'll just be a table that goes through each one of those things. Then attached to that will be the proposed revisions to those codes or regulations. There is one change that needs to be made. We're adding one thing. Brian wanted to add a new state law regarding information that has to be about gas lines on subdivisions, and he wants that in the subdivision regulations. Doesn't really relate to rural or ag preservation, but it's a good time to put it in, so that's gonna be added.
Just a little correction to that, it is not all gas lines, just the transmission gas lines.
Yes.
Well, if we're gonna open the can of worms, are there other issues, Mr. Darnell, we need to address? Any other corrections we need to look at while we're?
Most of them is what we've been discussing, but this was something new that Brian had just, it's just took effect.
Brian and I talked, I mean, there's 4 major lines that
Right.
go through the county. We
Correct.
might just get a county footprint and
Of where they're
draw
at,
them through it and keep it on the wall down there.
Well, I mean, we've just had this mailbox issue with the postal service that
Right.
came up. Is there, we may
At
look
this
at.
time, we don't, that we know this, we know the mailbox clusters are coming, that's, there's certain things like that, but we're, that we're not all aware of as of yet.
Okay. Any other business before the meeting? If not, the next scheduled meeting will be, October the 14th, 2021 at 7 o'clock here in the Dickson County Courthouse Annex. And then we will have the
Work
September.
session on the 30th.
Work session, September 30th, 7 o'clock. Motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.